Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm building a pool in the world of Selvadorada. I got this idea through a picture I saw on Twitter and literally opened the game seconds later and had to start building it. This is a shorter build than ones I've done in the past. I literally built this all within like 30 to 45 minutes, so this is a pretty quick speed build video. Um, I wanted this to have the vibe of this once being like an abandoned ancient building from like many centuries ago. And it was found by some archaeologists on a dig. Um, it has this big round body of water in the center, and they decided to turn it into a swimming pool for tourists and natives to the area. Um, so for the pool, I added these stone ladders from Get Together, and I added like the bubblers and the steam vents from the pack as well. I also used the Jungle Adventure tiles and wallpapers for this whole build. And this build is also a limited pack one as well. Um, I only used Jungle Adventure, the this kit, it's the Desert Desert Lux kit. That's the name of it. The Desert Lux kit. I used two hanging plants from the Blooming Rooms kit. And that's pretty much it. I did use one item from Discovery University, but this whole build is a limited pack build, which I was actually kind of surprised about. That wasn't my intention going in. It just kind of worked out that way. So this should be easy to download for anybody who would like to download it. Oh, and there's another pack that I used. I used the Island Living pack as well. There's a couple items from that. But other than that, that should be it. Um, if I do use like another pack, I think I might use For Rent, but it's just the drink trays that I end up using. But for the flooring and the wallpapers, I use the stone tiles from Jungle Adventure. I put them all over the floor. I use them as the pool floor. I use the Jungle Adventure trim, and then I use the stone wallpaper as well. So this is a small build with limited packs, which is great. Um, Now the windows that I have on the building, they will change. At first, I had the idea that they added them to like modernize the building and put more light in. Um, but in the end, I thought they kind of looked a little too big and bulky for the build because I have these like big glass, I guess you call them like atriums on the side of the building, and then just having like the square jutting out of these windows from the Desert Lux kit, they just kind of looked odd. So I did get rid of them. And also for the aesthetic that I was kind of going for is in a little bit you'll see me start to put plants all over the outside of the building. And I wanted it to look overgrown. So these windows just kind of got in the way of that, so I did get rid of them in the end. But up here on the roof, I'm going to be getting out the Island Living glass panes to add some more light because there isn't actually enough space for windows to go on this building. And even though the atriums on the side let in light, the pool area doesn't actually get that much light even with like the windows that I put in. So I put the glass panes on the roof to add that modern element that I wanted for the build. Um, and I mean the roofs on the side are also part of the modern element because I imagine that those were built like they didn't have the glass before. It was just like a regular roof, and they took down the old, dilapidated, mossy roof and put the glass on top. And then here's where I'm going to be putting the plants on the side of the building. I only use the Jungle Adventure hanging plants for this because I wanted the build to blend in with the environment. So these are the only plants I used. And then up here on the front, you're going to see me cover up both of the entrances to this building. Um, I wanted it to look like that, yeah, they had like redone the building, but the plants are kind of taking back over what was once theirs. So they grew over the entrance, but I didn't think the entrance was functional, so I do get rid of the one on the right hand side, the big giant hanging one. And this is where I start to realize that the windows are in fact in the way, and the plants are just kind of looking odd hanging in the places they do. So this is where I get rid of the windows after I messed around with the trim on the glass. I was going to go with the thinner one, but I thought it was okay as it was, so I just changed it back. And then I put the ruined stone out here on the front for like a little patio space. And then I'm going to be quickly just throwing down some landscaping here just to get an idea of what I wanted on the outside. So I put this low-lying grass, and here I am getting rid of the windows because I hated them. And then I do pull out these stone ones, and then I decide maybe I don't want these, and then I try to, for some reason, go with the Moschino windows, which do not fit the vibe at all, which is what I saw in the image that I found on Twitter. But with what I ended up building, it just didn't look correct. So I just used these open air arched windows in its place, and I think it looks really good. And this was kind of like a different build from what I normally do. And since it's still very much summertime up here, at least in the northern hemisphere, I wanted to build something for the season. And yeah, so here I am cluttering up this back wall, which is jungle adventure plants. I used the purple flowers from it, which I think look really nice because I kind of blend them into the vines so it doesn't look like they just suddenly stop right where the windows are. It blends very nicely. And then I had trouble putting plants down here on the ground. I was going to put the low-lying like flowers, but then it just, because it was such on the edge of the lot, it was very difficult. So I just put the low-lying flowers in the end because I tried a bunch of other stuff and it just didn't work. And then I'm going to use this tall leafy monstera and then some ferns over here. And I'm putting some trees, and then I do put the woohoo bush over here. When I was playtesting the lot, when I was taking my screenshot videos for the end, I didn't see anybody use the bush, so I'm not 100% sure if it's functional or not. But honestly, I figure if your sim has to pee that bad, they can just go pee in the pool, because the pool looks questionable at best. But Sims had no problem diving right into it because it's The Sims, and realistically, if you came up and saw a pool with water that green and that steamy and bubbly, I don't think you would jump into it. But out front here, I wanted to put some type of like ruin decorations out front, so I was going through all this stuff from Jungle Adventure. I thought about putting those big giant like pillars. I thought about putting statues, but in the end, I just put these like old pots and the pottery, because I felt like the archaeologists who came and like fixed up this building to make it like useful for the public, they found these artifacts in the building and they wanted to use them as decoration, so they kind of just set them outside. And then out here as well, I use the benches, like the picnic benches from Jungle Adventure, and then I put the base game grill that came with an update like a long time ago, that came with like a pergola. And then I just put some tiki torch lights out here. And then off camera, I didn't film it, I did it after I was done filming the build. I put mosquitoes and fireflies all throughout like all the plants and stuff, so at nighttime it looks really pretty with all the fireflies out and about in the plants. But moving back inside, I put 5 loungers in each of these window areas. None of my Sims sat in them when I came to this slot, but I know that you can get into these areas because I did put a stereo in one of the areas. I think it's the one behind this area that I'm looking at. I put a stereo, and the Sims went in there and they were dancing, so I know that the area is walkable and functional. And I just not necessarily clutter, but I put these potted plants from Jungle Adventure in here to fill up the area more. And then I put those glass tables, and then on those glass tables is where I put the drink trays from For Rent. They were the ones that looked the most like they would be in this area, because the one from Backyard Stuff was too like vibrant and stuff. And then you had the one from Spa Day, but it had like the Spa Day decal on the mat, which this isn't really a spa, so I just used the ones from For Rent. And then for a while, I debated on, like, I was like, I'm gonna turn this place into a pool, but then it said it needed a sink and a shower, and I was like, I don't want to put a sink and a shower here, so I was like, I'll just leave it as a residential. I'll just leave it residential rental. I'll leave it as a vacation rental for a little bit. But then I was like, nah, I'll just find a way to make the sink and the shower work if I have to. So I changed it back to a pool. And this is where I put this stereo, and then I put this basket of stuff. Yes, this one from Seasons. So I do use Seasons in here as well, but it's just this one item. There's a lot of, like, the 2 or 3 packs that I don't use a lot of items from, and I just use this single item from. If you don't have Seasons, you don't have For Rent, and you don't have Island Living, they aren't going to be build breaking for this. You'll just have to replace the sink. If you don't have Discover University, you will just have to replace the showers, because those are the items that I use. It's really not that big of a deal. And then over here in the corner, this is where I use the one Blooming Rooms kit item, which is the hanging plants. And then I get out these lanterns from Jungle Adventure, these wall candles, because I figure this building doesn't have a lot of electrical wiring like in the walls. They have like electrical wiring in the pool because they wanted to put lights in the pool. But as for like the walls and stuff, they didn't put wires in there, so it's just candles. And I wanted it to look subtle and dark, not very light up, like lit and vibrant in here. And this is where I put the Discover University showers. I just clip them into the pillars and they do work fine. Here's the Island Living sink. I picked this sink because I figured it looked the most natural in the space. Like, it was made from rocks and wood that were found in the area. And then I put base game towel shelves and this base game wicker hamper, like you can put the towels in after you're done swimming. And then the lot also required me to have dining chairs. The picnic table doesn't count, unfortunately, so I had to put 2 tables down here. So I just used the base game plain wooden ones in the dark wood swatch with the matching chairs. And then to finish off this area, I put more lights in the atrium areas, and then I hang a wicker, like, basket texture chandelier up because I felt like this area it needed a bit more light. It was subtly lit, but I felt like it needed just a bit more light if your Sims are here after dark. So I just get the one from the Desert Luxe kit, hang it from the ceiling. I did think about putting the candelabra in here for a second, but it didn't look correct. So I just put this, and I like to pretend that the light bulbs, they're candles and not light bulbs. And then I just put the same texture tile up on the ceiling for continuity. And then one of the final things I thought about putting in here was a rug, but then I was like, there's showers on the ground, shower drains. Why would there be a rug? So I just don't do that. And then here's where I thought about using another item from Blooming Rooms. I thought about using these leaves and these hanging vines, but I decided against it in the end because there just wasn't really a color swatch that matched. And then when I get to the back wall with those 3 windows, trying to put this over there, it looked awkward. Like, it didn't go with the build. So instead, I used the single tile Island Living curtains, and I thought they were like perfect for this because, like, I felt like the people who redid this building wanted to also give it a resort vibe, which is why they have those loungers, the bifold patio doors, and also these curtains were like wispy and stuff, and I imagined that they would not necessarily like in the game because it's not really a feature, but they would like blow in the wind and stuff, and it would look fancy and majestic. But just back outside here, I'm adding the final touches to the patio. I just get a food stall. All you'll need to do, because it won't be staffed when you come to the slot, all you need to do is spend $100 and staff it. And they stay there for quite a long time, actually. I can't remember how long I was on this slot, but I was on this slot from like 11 a.m. I think until like 6 p.m. and they stayed for a really long time. But yeah, and I'm just gonna be putting on some terrain paint to finish the build, and that's pretty much it. This was a short one. You can find this build on my gallery. It's just Lissa Marie 23 on the gallery. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!